Welcome in one and all. I am the Pink Demon, some call me Regan. This is Fresh Shaves, where we look at new music releases, and today we have a pretty cool one. We're going to be covering Axe Dragger by the band Axe Dragger. I don't think I could do this barehanded though, so I've got my trusty axe. If you know where this is from, sound off in the comments. But Axe Dragger by Axe Dragger starts off well with the song Axe Dragger. And you know what? I love when you get the song album band. I'm trying to think of which other one there's. I believe Iron Maiden have Iron Maiden on Iron Maiden. God's Hate, I'm pretty sure, have God's Hate on God's Hate. So there's a few out there. Again, sound off in the comments if you can think of a song album band triple threat like that. Now, Axe Dragger are a new band, so I didn't fully know what to expect getting into it. When it started, I was actually a little bit cautious because it's got this throwback sound, classic heavy metal, and Tail Gunner has left me very cautious that, throwback tones are often paired with a lack of creativity. But that was pretty quickly put to the side when I was getting a lot of grand majors coming through, which I thought was very cool. It's got those big crunchy riffs and a big crunchy tone to go with it. It's hard to tell because so much can be done digitally these days, but when I close my eyes, I just imagine the big orange amp stacks whenever I hear that sound, and that gets me excited. There was so much of that grand major sound coming through that I actually went and checked the lineup to see if anyone involved in grand majors was working on this, and that's when I had my holy shit moment. The vocalist of this band is the original Pantera vocalist. And you're like, original? What do you mean? It's clearly not Phil Anselmo. Remember when Pantera was a glam metal band? It's kind of that kind of swept aside, no one really, addresses it. It was basically a different band, for all intents and purposes. But here is the original vocalist from the Glamterra era back on the mic in front of a new band. And it's awesome. There's also former members of Fu Manchu, Pentagram, Dark Funeral. So, it's a bit of a dirty word, but it's a supergroup of sorts. I've checked out a little bit of Fu Manchu and Pentagram before, not really my things, love Dark Funeral, but I've never checked out those old Pantera albums, and this has me really curious to dip into that at some point. As for how he performs on this album, I really love it. It's got like a bit of a King Diamond flair to it. On the doomier moments, it almost bridges through to a Candlemass, but then he can just whip it around like 180 degrees for these real, like, Poison, Motley Crue, sleaze glam rock moments. And it's such a large but weird range, and I don't think anyone was out there being like, man, I wish there was a band out there that could do Candlemass and Motley Crue at the same time. But now that I have it, I'm really happy that I've got it. It's sick. On the members too, there was a lot in the sound that reminded me of Gypsy Hawk. I'm like, I wonder if anyone from Gypsy Hawk was in this, because they're broken up, so their members must be doing other things now. And the drummer was in Gygax, and Gygax formed from the ashes of Gypsy Hawks, but the drummer was never in Gypsy Hawk. So that's not really relevant, but I did think it was a little genealogy. Just a cool point. I like stuff like that. Regardless, he does a great job. As I've said, they're really able to switch between these sounds. And I think a key part in making that work is the pace switching in the drumming and keeping it interesting as well. When it switches paces, he doesn't just, change his tempo. He really switches up his styles. It's not just the same beat at different tempos. It's completely different when he changes. In some tracks, too, it really takes the forefront, like in El Toro, which is the bull in Spanish. It's got this like stampeding double kick in it, which really pushes the theme of the song to the forefront. But then at other times, it like respectfully sits just in the background, just in the rhythm section, while the rest of the band takes the limelight. Again, as it continues with Fight Another Day, once again, I'm just like, I can't believe I can't believe it's not Butter. I can't believe it's not Grand Majors. And I'm going to stop from here on out comparing them to Grand Majors. But just know that I love Grand Majors. They've put out some perfect albums, in my opinion. So when I constantly listen to this and think, oh man, this sounds a lot like Grand Majors, huge compliment. Huge compliment. I love Grand Majors. I love this. And this is a fine point to kind of stop that comparison as well, because then it goes into Iron Rider, and that kind of draws a hard line in the sand. and starts going into this fast-paced hard rock absolute ripper of a song. Really gets your head moving. In the office it's a little bit like that, but in the car it's a full-on like neck breaker headbang, and I'd just go so hard on the Barrier Live. I would probably strain something now that, I'm getting a bit old in the neck. It's just such a fun song. As soon as the album finished, the first time I listened to it, I went back and I jumped straight back into Iron Rider. That was the first song where I'm like, I want to hear that again. And then as the album progressed, every time I thought I had it pinned down, they mix it up. They'd start going really slow, and then they'd pick the pace back up, and they'd go really heavy, and then they'd pull it back a bit. It's exactly what I wanted from Tail Gunner. It's worshipping the greats, but it doesn't rip them off. I was a little worried when I saw the track listings. There's a lot of 4 minutes, even a 5-minute song, but it just doesn't feel like it. They keep it really interesting. It doesn't drag on, pun not intended. It's just everything kind of stays for how much it's welcome. At a higher conceptual level as well, it just kind of had me feeling good that classic heavy metal still has merit in the scene. I feel like every newer band I listen to feels like they need to be at least 3 genres to be exciting. And so much of it, when it's done right, it's done right. But when it's not done right, it's like taking all your paints and mixing them together, expecting to get a new super color that's bright and amazing. But anyone who's taken, primary school kids know if you take all the paint and mix it together, you just get an ugly, purpley, browny color. It never looks good. Whereas Axe Dragger, it's like taking one primary color, using it right, getting a nice, bright, striking result. Simplicity can be striking. And I believe I've said in a previous review, simplicity is the ultimate form of complexity. It's a bit of I was going to say horseshoe. It might be more your bell curve of bad bands are simple and then you add a lot of complexity, but then you start stripping back complexity that isn't needed and you end up with simplicity again. Also, the biggest concern I had when I was listening to this album, especially the first time, was its sticking power. I was really enjoying it, but it felt like it wasn't gluing, like it was just kind of washing over me. But then after repeat lessons, I find myself thinking of this album when I'm not listening to it. And there are little, vocal stims of just, especially the first song, the chorus, Axe Dragger! Or the opening line of, when I wield heavy metal with the devil's hand. It's so cheesy, but because of that, it's so fun. And you, like I just did then, you can put a lot of shtick into it. But you're not taking the piss out of it, you're just enjoying it. So all in all, Axe Dragger, new band, new album, a lot of experience going into it, and I think it shows a lot of that experience, and it does what a supergroup should do. It really just takes all the strengths of the individual members, and the sum is greater than the parts. As a bit of a comparison point, I listened to band Serpentine Dominion for the first time this week as well, and that has members of Cannibal Corpse, the Black Dahlia Murder, and Killswitch Engage, and it sounds like those 3 bands mixed together. But this doesn't sound like Fu Manchu, Pentagram, Dark Funeral, and Pantera. It sounds like its own thing. I mean, it sounds like Grant Magus, but that's a good thing. It sounds really awesome. I highly recommend checking it out. This is an enigma because at the same time, it's a breath of fresh air to get something like this, but it's also just classic heavy metal done right. So, pick up your axe, get dragging. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe for new album reviews. I haven't done a classic album review in a while because I've got a bit of a March backlog, but I'm almost through it. There's only 4 more left to catch up on, and then I'll start doing my Thrifty Riff videos again. So thrift shop videos are coming back, don't worry. So stay tuned, and until next time, thank you for watching. Peace out. Axe Dragger!